am your host. It's Jessica Koch, and we are back with another Profound Professionals. This interview series has been coming to you for almost 8 years now. We have interviewed industry experts from all over our planet, our beautiful globe. They help improve your personal life or grow your business. I have a super heart-filled, lovey-dovey, amazing, wonderful guest today. Her name is Amy. She is a life and a relationship coach because, people are the point. I feel like that's why we're here on the planet, you know? So welcome, Amy.
Well, thanks for having me, Jessica.
So tell us how you decided, I think this is the direction I'm going to go with my passion, my purpose. I'm going to spend my life helping others with their life and relationships. What took
Well, as you know, what we set out to do in life and where we end up is two different things. So this was not something that I went to school for. I actually have a mechanical engineering degree and then ended up in business school, but life took me. I got married at 25 and divorced at 36. It wasn't what I planned. And I'm like, ooh, how did this happen? So, being the problem solver I am, I started like researching and wanting to learn more. And so I took classes. I ended up working with a coach when I turned 40, a relationship coach, because I was running around in circles. I was very motivated to marry, which is my brand name, and really frustrated with finding seriously marriage-minded men who wanted the life that I did. So he was very instrumental in helping me get my head on straight and challenging me where I needed to be and helped me see things from other perspectives, which is coaching. And I found myself remarried at 42, and kind of saying, well, what I was doing at the time was not serving my family or potential family. So I closed the women's clothing store that I owned for 13 years. And then now what? So I ended up with a career coach. So the career coach helped me get me on the path and said, what about being a life coach? I'm like, what's a life coach? This is 2005, right? So when I went to start looking into it, I actually was already kind of in their world. I was doing image consulting, and I figured, they're working with the inside. I want to work with the outside. So they're like, try this coaching program. I'm like, okay. And I was hooked. So I decided people were sending people to me and said, oh, you met your husband. How did you do it? And I didn't want to mess with people's lives. So I went and got trained and certified to be a life coach, which I knew I always wanted to help people get it right this time, which is the name of my book. How to find and keep your ideal romantic relationship. So my own personal story has really brought me to this place to support others to find the right partner. And I am hitting the 20-year mark of doing this coaching business. So it's stuck.
Congratulations. So when people refer people to you or people find themselves seeking you out and your support, where are they kind of in life? I mean, I know maybe they're
I have several kind of groups of people. I have the younger people who are like, they are not connecting. And that's really what I do is I help people get really clear about who they are, what they want in their lives, who's a good partner for them, what values that need to be there in this partnership. And so I really get them, instead of coming from the, oh, you're cute, and the chemistry kicks in, and this person is a totally wrong fit, like my first husband. And, it wasn't all bad, but, we were not meant to be together. So, and I believe relationships are organic. They are either going to move forward, you're going to work together, or they're going to fall apart.
Mm.
And it can happen in 6 months, it can happen in a year, or it can happen in 10 years, which was my
20.
thing.
Even, yeah.
So, and a lot of people, once they have children, they don't want to break up families. And then when the kids go off to college, that is the biggest time that
Mm.
couples break up.
Mhm.
And so I was in a group called New Beginnings in the DC area, which was a divorce group. So, I've seen it from all sides. I work with widows and widowers as well. I mean, they actually have had good relationships, but they see themselves in relationships. So the person who comes to me wants a relationship, sees that being in a partnership is their preference. It's a choice today. And I
Mhm.
just met a widow today at Women Business Owners, and she lost, and normally, but she's like, I'm happy. I'm doing my own thing. I get to do what I want to do. And I'm like, good for you. But that's not my client. My client is I'm miserable. I'm by myself. I don't want to be by myself.
Right.
That's my client. So, and they come to me at all ages. I mean, my youngest client who just got engaged was 27 when she came to me. And my oldest client, he got married, was 77.
Very good. Very nice. So, when you work with them, what are some of the different ways you serve them? I know you have different events. You do this in a group setting. Do you do this all one-on-one? Talk to us about the different ways the clients come and work with you.
Well, there are different packages, and it depends on how much Amy time they want and how much how much uh, time and effort I put in.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, that 80% of my successfully couple clients have met through online dating. And
Mm-hmm.
most people come to me and say, Amy, it hasn't worked. And I said, well, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually help them with that whole process. And because of my image consulting background, I do styling sessions. I help them pick out their clothes. I work with an online photographer who has photographers in most of the major cities. And
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of work closely with my clients to pick out the right photos. And from that standpoint, but there's the coaching, the fundamental piece is really to really get my clients so they can communicate what's their vision for their lives, where do they see themselves. And so basically not everybody wants the same things, right? And so you could be a nice person, but if you're not going the same direction, if you don't want the same things, it's not going to work. So when I was in my late 30s, I wanted a family, and I met a really nice guy, and we really hit it off. And but he had his family already. He says, I'm not having any more kids. And that was a decision-making point for me. And I had to make a choice. And I did. I chose to leave the relationship. And so, that was a tough choice. But we all have to decide what we want. And so there are different camps based on your age group.
Mm-hmm.
And in the older age group, I see the differences between the working people and the non-working people, the
Mm-hmm.
retired people. So they have a different lifestyle expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've seen like, I don't see myself moving to Florida. I don't see myself this, whatever it is, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to give up this. So how flexible is somebody, and that's part of the coaching, and then with my older clients who've been on their own for a while, and, I have people come to me in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who have never been married,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in relationships,
That's awesome.
but they have to deal with the balance between the independence and being a couple, and what does that look like, and how does the time look like, and how do I keep me and keep what I want and need, and how do I but yet still be a good partner.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the things that we discuss, there are different things, but it all comes back to values, goals, values, and things that you can and cannot like tolerate in your life. There's some people who say, I can't tolerate a cat. I'm allergic to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were guys I didn't date because I was not giving up my cat because she
Yeah.
was my longest relationship at that point. Um, yeah, so I even developed the pet test to tell whether someone's a good partner or not.
Oh, very good. That's brilliant. And, you know, interesting enough, all these things that they do with you on their journey as you're coaching and working with them and working through things, they're getting real clarity on what they want in life, in general, in addition to what they want in life from a partner. And I bet they see amazing things begin to happen because once you have clarity
Oh,
in what
yeah. I
you
mean,
want,
I've helped
all the
people getting
things
better
come.
jobs, go
Yes.
into new careers. And
Yeah.
not that I'm a certified professional life coach. We
Hmm.
learn to coach the whole life.
Yeah.
And everything has to come from a holistic system because
Hmm.
everything impacts everything else. So
Hmm.
that is the beauty of coming to somebody who is a real certified life coach rather than somebody who's calling themselves a dating coach and has
Hmm.
no clue about and
Hmm.
giving you advice
Hmm.
because it's kinda I don't always advise my clients, I help lead them to what they need and want,
Mhm,
and so there is a process we learn as coaches. So there is an advising piece, there is a
mhm.
consulting piece when I definitely will help people with their profiles and stuff like that, and their pictures and their photos and their photo shoots and everything like that.
And
So,
speaking of coaches, all of you coaches out there who are listening that are certified in some capacity or another, reaching out to Amy might be a great additional move to your portfolio of tools and resources for your clients. Why don't you talk a bit about that, Amy?
yeah, so I have an ICF certified continuing education training to
Mhm,
train life coaches, or you could be a social worker or a therapist, to do the motivated to marry coaching. This program is very successful. I have hundreds of successfully coupled clients. What's nice is I've gotten a lot of video testimonials now. And it's just wonderful to hear their journey and what they got out of the program. And
mhm,
someone just told me he really liked my process because he's a process person. He was a little kind of techie nerdy guy, and so I am very logical and methodical in that sense. Yet
mhm,
there is a little bit of the woo woo stuff too. So there's
mhm,
something for everyone, and
mhm,
so, it is about what you put out there is what you attract. So we have to look at how you're putting yourself out there. What are
mhm,
you sharing with people? And a lot of times it doesn't take a lot. A couple of tweaks makes a big difference. And then they are attracting better quality people.
mhm,
And then the other piece is the confidence piece is getting my clients to feel confident about
mhm,
themselves, who they are, and what they
mhm,
have to offer to a relationship. And
mhm,
so when they really empower them to step up for what they want and need, a lot of times what I hear is are not they haven't gotten what they needed. They're always the one who was accommodating other people.
mhm, mhm,
So to give them a little bit of a backbone, to give them structure and help them set better boundaries for themselves is something we do in coaching. But
yeah,
I am training and certifying other coaches to do the motivated to marry process
mhm,
and to become motivated to marry coaches and
mhm,
supporting them as in their journey. Once you become certified, you go into licensing to use my materials. So it's like a business in a box. So you don't have to create it. It took me 15 years to get here. I won't even tell you what the price tag is to get
yeah.
to this point. I
I
mean, and
know
you
how
can
much
walk
you
in and
invested.
start working with the tools with your clients and seeing
Mhm,
some really amazing results.
and you for
And,
sure are one of those
yeah,
people.
so, I mean, it's really a great deal right now because we had just gone through 2 training cycles. We're starting our 3rd cohort, and
Cool.
so it's still in its infancy, ground floor opportunity, but I don't see myself having hundreds of coaches. I see myself of having, dozens.
Yeah,
So I really wanna make it a really a premier and that my coaches have to be trained coaches already. I'm not training
mhm,
coaches. I'm training coaches to do the motivated to marry coaching.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, they're gonna get so much because I know, like you talked about, you have systems, you're very organized, they are gonna really have all the
I'm
resources.
very hands-on too. I give a
Mhm,
lot of time and attention to each of my coaches. Because I only train like 3 coaches at a time right now. We
Mhm.
meet individually every month. I mean, people, they have questions. I mean, I'm helping them build their offering packages.
Mhm.
I'm like, no, don't undercharge. This is try to get this amount. I
Mhm.
really have learned how to build good packages for coaching
Mhm.
packages. So, a lot of people coming to me, they're charging by the session, and that's not how you make money in coaching.
Mhm.
So, I want to see my coaches to be successful. If they're successful, then everybody benefits.
Well, another other thing I was going to say about you is if you are investing in this program, whether it is from a client who is looking for the life coaching or the relationship coaching, or whether you're a life coach and you're looking for adding this additional piece to how you work with your clients, one of the things to know about Amy is she constantly up levels herself. She is someone I have known personally for quite a while, to see and watch from a distance how she is constantly investing in herself, in her business, in her growth, in her tools. So you really are going to get someone who has made those investments and be able to take advantage of having those benefits for your own business or your
I
own
could be a
life.
business coach if I really wanted to, but there's
I,
too many business coaches. So I did this LinkedIn outreach to 8,000 certified coaches and said, would you like to take my training? And they're like, no, I don't do this kind of coaching. And I'm like, I just was dumbfounded, because isn't
Mhm,
everything about relationships? And there's
mhm,
so much you can apply to every relationship, work
mhm,
relationships, personal relationships, that
mhm,
they learn in this program. I mean, once you get the fundamental pieces down, then
mhm.
that's what applies to everything. And
Every.
yeah, I mean, there's really a values-based approach. And the way I do values is um, so more in depth than the way that most coaches are being taught. And I've been talking to ICF groups and International Coach Federation groups on going deeper with your values. And
Mhm,
that's eye-opening too, because I don't feel that
mhm.
people, I mean, I don't want to be critical, but I feel they could go deeper and help their clients on a different level when they learn this process.
Yeah, I think it's
And
beautiful.
I've been very fortunate, because I mean, I got this training and then I took it a step further through my coach training when I went through CTI.
So, you know what? Now is a great time when you're watching to click that share button, because you just don't know whose life might be changed. Maybe your share will reach another coach out there who just says, "Ah, this is for me. I totally need to bring this to my customers and clients." Or maybe you really share it with someone who has been suffering and is lonely and really needs Amy's direct support. So hit that share button. And as we talk about that, how about sharing with us a tip that will change everyone's life today? What kind of tip can you give us for the day?
I think just to be authentically you,
Mhm,
to not to try to be somebody else,
mhm,
and to present yourself who you are, because the right person will be attracted to you
mhm,
and the wrong person will say no thank you.
mhm,
And it's not always, and people take rejection. I think that's another thing, is I show my clients how to be at peace with rejection. It's actually
mhm,
sometimes a gift, because you're
mhm.
not wasting time with the wrong people. The right people will give you the time of day, and the wrong people will kind of not.
And that's a good thing for sure. So having peace with that is wonderful. That's such a great thing, and
Yeah.
being true to yourself, it leads really beautifully into the cause you shared with me earlier. So share with everyone. And here's another time you want to put the cause you care about in the comments, in the chat. Hit the share button, because we want to spread the word to the world and awareness about all these great different causes. You just could inspire someone to share time, treasure, or talent with the cause Amy shares with us, or the one you put in the chat, or just one that is locally to them. Just be a hero and inspire something good to happen. And all you have to do is hit the share button. Amy, share with us the cause that you care about.
Well, in my local area, and it's also, I think, national, is Dress for
Mhm,
Success. And I've been involved with that organization for many, many years. When I had the women's clothing store, we used to do clothing drives,
Mhm.
and I do try to support them financially at this point. But they really help women who are needing to get back into the workforce, to give them the clothes and the tools. I think they do resume stuff and job hunting stuff,
Mhm.
to get, back into the workforce so they can feel good about themselves, empower themselves, be a good role model for their family. Many of them are single parents.
Mhm.
And then if once they start earning income, then they can start thinking about the other things in life they truly, truly want.
Yeah, and confidence is so key. I think the gift of confidence is just so powerful, and I love that it's so
And,
woven.
I'm sure there are things in one's closet. I know I have to go through my closet and just get rid of stuff that people are not we're not wearing anymore. I mean, things have gotten so casual. Those suits, what am I doing with those suits? I mean, unless I'm going to a funeral.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. I love that cause. So now share with us. Everybody knows who's been watching. We're creating the ultimate book list. We have interviewed almost 1,000 industry experts from across the globe, and we've asked each of them to share a book not written by them that inspired their personal life or helped them grow their business. So you're going to have so many books that all of our guests have suggested to go through when this catalog and directory gets pulled together. We are working on it as we speak. And you will also get all the links to the books of our guests, as well as many of them, and in Amy's case as well, are authors. So share with us first, Amy, the book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business.
Well, I think when I was going through my divorce, I wanted to understand why things weren't working, what happened, and I
Mhm.
discovered the 5 love languages. He's
Mhm.
morphed it into the 5 love languages for kids, the 5 love languages for singles, like he's taken he's a
Chicken soup.
smart entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We should all be watching this guy, right? His
Yeah.
name is Gary Chapman. And even though he's a minister, it's just still very good. The concepts are great about how people respond. Different people respond to different things. And I
Mhm.
think once you understand that, it's all about reading people and understanding people.
Mhm.
And so we don't know what lands with people. And so even with the relationships, I understand why I think my ex didn't feel loved.
Mhm.
There were things that I could have done better.
Mhm.
And even if you're not your language, we need to be aware of those languages because
Mhm.
we need to be multilingual.
Mhm. It's true. And I think reading a book like that and really getting in touch with the different personality types and understanding communication on a deeper level, which I think is where your relationship piece comes in and the value is added to coaches, like you mentioned, even if they're not going to do the marriage piece. Just the relationship piece is applicable to everything we do, because everything
Well,
involves
every relationship we
relationship.
have in our life. So, like, I know that, I know my son's love language.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, but I know it. Mom, will you do this for me? Mom, will you do this for me? And yet I want to empower him to learn to do things for himself.
Mhm.
So it's like, let me teach you how to do the laundry. You don't love me. You're not doing my laundry. He didn't say that, but I can feel that.
Yeah, that's too
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. So it's you gotta be careful. Some of these are exhausting.
That's true, that's true. So tell us about the book, or books that you've written, Amy.
Yeah, so I wrote a book. One of the books I wrote was I've written several, but the one that's the major one is Get It Right This Time: How to Find and Keep Your Ideal Romantic Relationship.
Hmm.
So, and I started with the Motivated to Marry title, but people were like, I don't want marriage. And I'm like, it's really about having healthy relationships and getting it right this time. And I kept saying it
Mhm.
over and over again. I said, that you have a book title. And so when I decided to go self-publish and do the bigger, better book, which is now on Amazon, that's the one I did.
Mhm.
Eventually I will do Motivated to Marry, but
Mhm.
as you know, you don't make money with a book.
Yeah. Well, some people
So
do. I'm just
so
gonna say.
I'm working on the coach training and and then
Mhm.
and other things and and when I have more time, haha,
Mhm.
I see when people do write a book, it's more for branding and more for, getting
It
their
can be.
name out.
Yeah, it
And
can.
you need to listen. I've studied book marketing. So,
Mhm.
you have to have money and time, and
Mhm.
I don't have either. No.
Of
I know.
course you do. We have
It's where do you want to spend your money? So
mhm.
I
Yes.
decided that project's on the back burner. It'll happen someday, but I
But
have
for
other
now,
visions for the
available,
business. Huh?
but for now, available to purchase is Get It
Yeah,
Right.
Get It Right this time is, yeah.
Mhm.
And Motivated to Marry is still available. It's an ebook. It's 40 pages. So that was the
Mhm.
precursor, and then I morphed it
Mhm.
into Get It Right this time. There's some
Mhm.
little differences in the book. There's like the quizzes are different and things like
Mhm.
that. But yes, so I consider my book an expensive marketing brochure, basically.
Okay. Well, we feel
Sorry if you're a book coach.
we still think you should check it out and go get her book because you just don't know if that will definitely help you
Or I
too. If
have
you're
an online coaching program, which will is much
right,
is has the latest and greatest stuff. It's a guy, it's a living and breathing thing where we keep adding things as we learn things and things change. So
yes, absolutely. Totally awesome. So, if you're watching and you're thinking, wait, I wrote a book or I have a book I love that inspired me, put it in the comments, hit that share button so that you can share your book with all the others that are watching and they'll know what books that you love or you have authored as well. And if you're watching and you're thinking, well, wait, I'm an industry expert. I could help improve someone's personal life or grow their business. I should be featured on this show. I totally agree with you. Reach out to us and our team will send you the information on how to get booked. And if you are an industry expert, you know at least one other. So tell other people about it. Be their hero and ours, and we'll feature them as well. Amy, we have loved having you. We hope you loved being on the show as much as we've enjoyed it.
oh, thank you very much. It's always fun to hang out with you, Jessica.
That I always have fun. I always laugh especially at least at my jokes or at myself, one or the other. It doesn't really matter as long as laughter is involved. I'm a happy person. So before we say goodbye, though, we are going to ask Amy to give us a final piece of information or inspiration to leave all of our guests watching with a thought. So a final thought for us.
Um, Learn to be the best partner you can in any relationship. So there are things that we don't know, and so there's always something new to learn and to apply, and so be a student. I mean, I think relationships make our lives richer and happier. So put the
Mhm.
time and attention to it.
I love it. I love it. And, in honor of love and today's episode, usually I close out Profound Professionals with I'm Jessica Koch, and this is Profound Professionals. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. I'm going to say today also love yourself and send love out to everyone out there. And until next time, bye, everybody.